What if I told you that every time you take a step, the universe pushes back? Sounds intense, right? But that's the secret power of forces in motion, two invisible players in the game of life that are constantly at work, whether you're aware of them or not. And here's the kicker, they're the reason why anything, literally anything, moves, stays still, speeds up, or slows down. Intrigued? You should be, because once you understand forces in motion, you've got the keys to unlock the secrets of how the world really works. Let's start with the basics. Forces are like the hidden hands of the universe, constantly pushing, pulling, and guiding everything around us. And no, I'm not just talking about gravity, though that one's pretty important. Forces are behind every action and reaction. They're why you can kick a soccer ball across a field, why planes stay in the sky, and why, when you trip over your own feet, you hit the ground instead of floating off into space. Now, let's get into motion, because you can't talk about forces without talking about motion. They're like peanut butter and jelly, totally different, but absolutely inseparable. Motion is what happens when a force acts on an object. It's the movement, the change, the action. Whether it's a skateboard zooming down a hill or the earth spinning on its axis, motion is everywhere. And here's the wild part, every bit of motion is the result of some force, somewhere, doing its thing. But hold up. Let's dig a little deeper, because forces aren't just some vague concept, they're measurable, tangible, and totally understandable if you know what to look for. For example, think about Newton's first law of motion. Don't worry, it's not as complicated as it sounds. It's basically the law of chill. It says that an object at rest stays at rest, and an object in motion stays in motion, unless acted upon by a force. Simple, right? If you leave your phone on the table, it's not going to suddenly fly across the room, unless, of course, you decide to launch it. But why does this matter? Because Newton's first law is the foundation of everything. It's why seat belts are a thing, why cars need brakes, and why when you throw a ball, it doesn't just keep going forever. It's a reminder that forces are always at work, even when you don't see them. Now, let's talk about Newton's second law of motion, the one that really gets things moving. It says that force equals mass times acceleration, F equals ma, for those who like equations. What does that mean in the real world? It means that the harder you push something, the faster it'll go. And the heavier the object, the more force you'll need to get it moving. This law is the reason why a small, compact sports car can zoom down the highway with just a tap on the gas, while a massive truck needs a whole lot more power to get up to speed. It's also why kicking a soccer ball is a lot easier than kicking a boulder. Trust me, don't try that at home. But here's the twist, forces aren't just about making things go faster. They're also about slowing things down. Enter Newton's third law of motion, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. This is the law that keeps everything balanced. It's why when you jump off a diving board, you push the board down and the board pushes you up. It's why rockets work, they push down on the ground with their engines, and the ground pushes them up into the sky. And it's why when you push against a wall, the wall pushes back with equal force, even if it doesn't budge. This third law is also why when you're skateboarding, every push against the ground propels you forward. But don't be fooled, this isn't just limited to big, dramatic motions. It's happening all the time, in everything you do. Every time you walk, every time you pick something up, every time you move, it's all thanks to this balance of forces. So, why should you care about all this? Because forces in motion aren't just abstract ideas, they're the key to understanding how everything around you works. They're the reason why bridges don't collapse under the weight of traffic, why planes can fly, and why roller coasters can defy gravity without flinging you into the sky. Understanding forces in motion gives you a superpower, the ability to predict, control, and even create movement in the world around you. Think about this. Without understanding forces in motion, engineers wouldn't be able to design the buildings you live in, the cars you drive, or the tech you use every day. They wouldn't be able to send rockets to space, create artificial limbs that move like the real thing, or build robots that can navigate the world. Forces in motion are the foundation of everything in engineering, physics, and, honestly, life itself. So, next time you're zipping down a hill on your bike or tossing a ball to a friend, remember, you're not just having fun. You're seeing the laws of the universe in action. Forces in motion are at play, making sure everything works the way it's supposed to. And now that you're in on the secret, you can start seeing the world in a whole new way. Every push, every pull, every movement, it's all part of the dance of forces in motion. And just think, this is only the beginning.